Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your partner and felt something was different, maybe even a little resentful? It happens to so many women, but here's the thing, it's not a mystery. There are real practical reasons why some women begin to feel distant or frustrated with their husbands as they grow older. And today we're going to uncover those reasons, along with practical solutions to restore that love and connection. Many women go through this, wondering why their marriage doesn't feel as fulfilling as it once did. But here's what's so crucial. If you're feeling this way, it's not your fault. It's natural, and it's a part of the evolving dynamics of long-term relationships. Before we dive in, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you want to receive more relationship insights that could help you make your marriage stronger and more fulfilling. Chapter 1, the passage of time and changing expectations. When you first meet someone, everything seems perfect. Your husband's quirks are endearing, his spontaneity thrilling. You cherish his little surprises, the joy he brings with his unpredictability. But as time goes by, those very qualities may start to wear thin. You begin to ask yourself, where did the romance go? In the early years, it's easy to overlook the flaws. His late-night work calls, his impulsive spending, his odd habits, they're cute, they keep things exciting. But as you both age, life changes. Children, financial stress, and growing responsibilities add pressure, and suddenly, what used to be spontaneous feels like chaos. What once felt like adventure feels more like a burden. Take Amanda and Jason, for example. When they first met, Jason's unpredictability was the spark in their relationship. He'd surprise Amanda with last-minute getaways and spontaneous dinner dates. Amanda loved it. But as they got older, had children, and took on more responsibilities, Jason's spontaneity started to feel reckless. The trips weren't fun anymore. She had to cancel plans, arrange childcare, and juggle her work schedule to make it happen. Soon, Amanda found herself dreading his surprises, even resenting them. So what's happening here? It's simple. The expectations shift. What seemed exciting in your 20s and 30s can become overwhelming in your 40s and beyond. The need for stability increases, and your emotional needs change. As we age, our brain shifts its priorities. What once felt like fun and carefree living can start to feel irresponsible. It's not the partner who has changed, it's the environment they're in that has changed. Expectations grow, and the need for emotional safety increases. And that's where frustration starts to build. It's not that you stopped loving him, you're simply growing in different directions. Chapter 2, the invisible labor imbalance. Now, here's where the real frustration comes in. Emotional and mental labor. Women often take on the lion's share of not just physical chores, but emotional labor. Managing the household, caring for children, and keeping the relationship alive can become a full-time job in itself. This imbalance is not just about who does the dishes, it's about who manages the day-to-day mental load. Who makes sure the kids' doctor's appointments are scheduled? Who remembers the birthdays? Who organizes family vacations? It's almost always her. Meet Claire and David. Claire is a high-powered executive, but at home, she's the one planning every single detail, whether it's groceries, the kids' schedules, or making sure David's favorite food is prepared for dinner. David, on the other hand, is mostly checked out when it comes to the mental load. He thinks of himself as helpful when he does a few chores here and there, but Claire feels the weight of it all. Over time, that weight builds. Claire doesn't resent David for his lack of action at first, but slowly, resentment builds. She starts to feel like his partner only in name, not in effort. This imbalance doesn't just affect the workload. It chips away at her emotional connection to him. She feels unsupported, alone. And when women feel alone in their marriages, dissatisfaction and frustration often follow. The invisible labor problem is a big contributor to marital dissatisfaction. If women feel like they're carrying the load physically and mentally without much help, they can start to feel overwhelmed and disconnected. So what's the fix? It's simple. Shared responsibility. Start by talking openly about the mental load and dividing tasks. No more assumptions, no more one-sided efforts. Your relationship deserves both of you to show up equally. If you're learning something valuable here, take a moment to hit like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Chapter 3, Intimacy and Emotional Distance. Intimacy doesn't just refer to sex, it's about connection. But as the years go on, many women find themselves feeling emotionally distanced from their husbands. Sex becomes less frequent, but the emotional disconnection is what hurts the most. For Rachel, the loss of intimacy didn't happen overnight. At first, it was a busy week here and there, followed by a few weeks where she and Tom didn't connect emotionally. She didn't notice the small gap forming, but eventually months passed without meaningful conversations. Without affection, she began to feel lonely in her own marriage. And when she tried to reconnect, Tom was always too tired, distracted by work, or simply uninterested. Emotional intimacy is the foundation of a strong marriage. If this part is neglected, everything else falls apart. If you don't feel seen or valued, it's hard to feel connected. And when the emotional connection fades, the physical connection often follows. A lack of emotional intimacy is a subtle but significant issue. It's easy to overlook at first, but over time it leads to disconnection. Couples need to nurture emotional closeness outside of the bedroom through quality time, communication, and shared experiences. The key here is intentionality. Put your phones down, talk about your day, share your thoughts, hold hands. Once that emotional intimacy is rekindled, the physical connection often follows. Chapter 4, Unresolved Conflicts. Fighting is inevitable in every marriage, but unresolved conflicts can damage the bond. Small fights that go unaddressed pile up, causing bitterness and resentment. Sarah and Tim had one unresolved issue. Tim never remembered their anniversary. Every year, Sarah would bring it up, but Tim would forget. At first, she let it slide, but after a few years, it started to feel like a symbol of his neglect. She was angry, angry, but never expressed it. Instead, she bottled up her feelings until one day Sarah exploded. The problem with unresolved conflicts is that they don't disappear, they compound. And before long, what started as a small issue has morphed into a wall between you. The solution? The 3-minute rule. When you're upset, take turns speaking for only 3 minutes. No interruptions. It keeps the conversation focused and clear. It prevents the argument from spiraling into something bigger. When Sarah and Tim implemented this rule, something changed. Instead of arguing for hours, they were able to discuss their frustrations clearly and move forward. Small adjustments in how they communicated made a huge difference. Chapter 5, The Awakening. As women age, they often experience what I like to call the awakening. You begin to realize you've spent so many years putting your partner's needs before your own that you forget who you really are. Suddenly you crave something more freedom, more self-respect, more adventure. Laura spent 30 years in a marriage where she was always the caretaker. But at 55, she realized she had put herself last for too long. She took a leap and enrolled in a writing course, something she'd always dreamed of. She started setting boundaries and saying no more often. And guess what? Her marriage got better. Her newfound sense of self made her more confident and engaged in her relationship. The awakening doesn't mean you have to leave your marriage. It means you finally prioritize your own needs. And that's crucial for keeping your relationship alive and vibrant. No matter where you are in your relationship, you can always change the dynamic. Take the time to reconnect emotionally, share responsibilities, and rediscover what made you fall in love in the first place. Marriage isn't a static thing, it's a living, breathing entity that needs nurturing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that can help you build a happier, healthier relationship. Thanks for watching.